Who doesn't like a true crime story? A whodunit drama with real facts, real people, and real death. You know, we use our own armchair detective skills to solve a crime. We gather all the facts, just like the real detectives did, but yet we don't have all the facts. But what if we end up discovering the truth? How does a paranormal investigator attempt to solve an unsolved murder case? My story started when I had that feeling that something bad happened. Something beyond the trees.
This building's been shown on dead files, psychics, ghost hunters, you name it, they've all been out here. Different kind of evidence, go on his page and you can see all that information. I'm gonna I saw a shadow back here, but that's alright. He has a mirror over here that's kind of getting a lot of attention because as you take pictures in the mirror, you start to see faces. So that's one of the draws here starting to come out here. Is something called divine inspiration. And that's when you start getting these signs and visions of stuff that kind of leads you to some place. Kind of like divine intervention, but it's more imagery. So like your triple digits, your angel callings, your names being whispered in your head. Well, upon a visit to Daysville Cemetery, God, 2008, 2007. But when that took place, I did have a vision. Yeah, basically, I don't believe in coincidences. I think all these little signs that you get are for a reason. People get visions. I think everyone has a connection to the psychic side. This goes back to about May of 2009. I was actually in the Daysville Cemetery.
The Daysville Cemetery is where Mary Jane Reed is buried. After visiting the area, Dean returns home.
I get home and I have this vision where I'm standing in this cemetery, Daysville Cemetery. And I'm looking into the woods and I'm standing on this stone and I'm pointing in the southwest direction. And I tell my friend Tim, I said, something bad happened over there. Something bad happened. I go, but not in the woods, but over there, like down farther or something like that. It was just this great impression that I was getting. When I looked into the woods, there was this prominent tree. It kind of was like a tree that was bigger than the other trees, and it sat at like a 2 o'clock angle.
In researching the area, Dean discovered that Mary Jane Reed and Stanley Skridla were both murdered, and their murder was unsolved. In attempting to match his vision with this murder case, he set out to see if the tree had any indication of what his vision was trying to tell him.
I actually went back to the cemetery and the tree wasn't there. So I was kind of disappointed. You know, I walked up and down looking for this tree. I drove up and down Lover's Lane and even Devil's Backbone trying to find this tree. Like, you know, I'm thinking this tree is the symbol where they found the body.
The locations of the bodies did not match Dean's vision. However, there was a surprise location that was not disclosed of before.
Had a cabin along the river. So he started driving down the highway. As we were leaving, he pulled into the neighbor's house.
The following video will demonstrate the discovery of the tree.
Go there next.
Well, that's an interesting tree.
Is that the one?
So did Mary Jane Reed send a vision to Dean that that's where her life was lost. Unfortunately, we can't prove this. However, to validate a tree from a vision that ties into an unsolved murder from 1948, pretty amazing. For more than 20 years, Mike Arians has been attempting to discover the facts about an unsolved double homicide that happened in 1948. During this time, the bodies of the deceased have been exhumed, still leaving the mystery of who killed these two people. Stanley Skridla, who was a 28-year-old phone lineman and Navy veteran, went on his first date with 17-year-old Oregon girl Mary Jane Reed, which ended up being their last. They went about the town that night, stopping at several locations. Now, I'm sure Mary Jane was flaunting her good-looking date to the hometown boys, including the local sheriff. Now, there are many rumors, questions, and reports, but one thing stood out, and that was that the sheriff did not like seeing Mary Jane on this date. And at one point, witnesses claimed that she smacked the sheriff in the face. I discovered this would be an important fact later. The young couple headed over to the Roadhouse before heading out to Lover's Lane, just down the street. This is where they found Stanley's body, shot 5 times and left to die. His car was stolen with Mary Jane Reed in tow. Another report was that Stanley's head was burned. Now, this is another important factor. January 31st, 2010. During the investigation, Brandy and I were interviewing Mike in his office area upstairs. Brandy had asked Mike if he felt he was Mary Jane Reed's saving grace, for which Mike replied that he didn't know anything about that. Upon our playback and our audio clip, this is what we captured.
Do you feel like maybe you're her saving grace? Your voice, you're her voice for now?
I don't know about any of that, but
Do you feel like maybe you're her saving grace? Your voice, you're her voice for now?
I don't know about any of that, but
Do you feel like maybe you're her saving grace? Your voice, you're her voice for now?
I don't know about any of that, but
Alright, so what we have so far is we have 2 people that were killed. They obviously didn't kill themselves. We have a sheriff that is suspecting 150 different people throughout the investigation. I feel that's an overabundance. I feel that saturates the true crime itself. And then also we have some rumors that the sheriff and Mary Jane Reed had a relationship. There's some mention in the newspaper articles throughout the process of this murder case. Burt Wright was in charge of it. So we don't know who killed these 2 people. One of the things that kind of stood out for me was that Mary Jane Reed smacked the sheriff at one of the locations prior to the Roadhouse, prior to them going to Lover's Lane. And one of the things that was not reported in Oregon at the time was that the deputy himself was painfully burned about the face and neck just months prior to this event. So if these 2 young people, Mary Jane Reed and Stanley, are making fun or even slapping the sheriff, this is kind of adding insult to injury here. So I don't know if that made him enraged and set forth a plan to do something to these young folks. But we do know that they didn't kill themselves. They were murdered. We don't know a lot of the facts. A lot of the facts have been buried. So based off of what we're just putting some facts together, you know, you could take it to the next level, but this is some of the things that we found along the way. This article here, this is something that was done just months before the murder itself.
How many spirits are here in the room with us?
I heard something. You? Yep. I didn't get what being any of this.
I wonder if that speaker's serving as an antenna now.
Can you say one of our names?
What was that name again?
Say one of our names, one of us at the table here.
What?
He was very famous.
Can you say it louder?
What color is the chicken?
Forget chicken?
Turkey.
No, I don't know. He responded to you though.
Yeah?
This is crazy.
It's a mindless question.
Dean. What's your name? Can you tell us one of your names?
No.
No. That,
What kind of car do you drive?
you tell who that is. Why can't we?
What kind?
I heard blue.
Sorry.
Do you? What kind of car did you drive?
Wow, I wasn't going to end this.
What color is the chicken?
Forget.
Bad area.
Oh, did you just say Burrite? Did you just say Burrite? Oh, I'm not sure.
You're smart.
I'm smart. Is this Wilbur? Can I call you Wilbur or go Jigs? You go by the name of Jigs?
Bad area.
Oh, did you just say Burrite? Did you just say Burrite? Oh, I'm not sure.
You're smart.
I'm smart. Is this Wilbur? Can I call you Wilbur or go Jigs? You go by the name of Jigs? Right still here? Jigs, are you still here? Are you trapped here?
Yeah. Are you afraid to move on? You're afraid to try to go to heaven?
Is Right still here? Jigs, are you still here? Are you trapped here?
Yeah. Are you afraid to move on? You're afraid to try to go to heaven?
So early on, we showed you a clip that was a savior, and a voice came through that said, "I am."
Do you feel like maybe you're her saving grace? Your voice, you're her voice for now?
I don't know about any of that, but
So, is it Burright saying that he is Mary Jane Ree's savior, and he's still trying to work on the case, and maybe he's trapped here until he figures it out? Maybe he's working with Mike to figure out the murder, and there's, again, 150 different suspects out there. There's buried truths. There's so many different twists and turns of this unsolved murder, double murder, that are we going to ever know the true facts? In the paranormal world, we're just getting some of these clues. We know that Burright was a dominant figure here in Oregon, so it's no surprise to us that we hear his name. Does he feel like he is unresolved as far as solving the case himself? That's a possibility.
Is there anyone still here? Behind you? Who's behind me? Is there anyone still here? Behind you? Who's behind me? Is there anyone still here? Behind you? Who's behind me? I need the flashlight. I need the flashlight. I need the flashlight. Oh, it's thick in here. Are you in here? Leave me? Oh, it's thick in here. Are you in here? Leave me? Oh, it's thick in here. Are you in here? Leave me? You want us to leave? Yes? You want us to leave? Yes? You want us to leave? Yes? The whole shebang. What color is the chicken? Brown! No way! See? And you laughed at my question.
I still laugh at your question. Why
Wow. Thank you for answering my question. What color is the chicken? What color is the chicken? Thank you for answering my question. Thank you for answering my question. Thank you for answering my question.
So as you can tell, we do get a lot off of our ghost box. It seemed to adapt to each room, and in the office area it became a little more angry. And this final ghost box clip is just basically somebody calling somebody an idiot. So I don't know if it's on the spirit side or on the radio side, but it wasn't somebody in the group present at the time.
You idiot! You idiot! You idiot! You idiot! You idiot! You idiot!
But I also want to point out my earlier vision that I had about something bad happening in the dominant tree. To see that tree pointing at a 2 o'clock angle still is very powerful to me because I could see that vision. Also, there was a couple other times where I would just happen to feel like I need to go down to the Roadhouse and visit. The one time I did, there was a tow truck driver there who there was an accident on Daysville Road right by the cemetery. An individual unfortunately was killed in the accident, and the person's last name ended up being Reed. Another time was I had this impression to bring out shells, like seashells, to Mary Jane Reed's grave. I forgot them at home, but I still went out to the grave to visit her, and I found 2 shells already there. One was in perfect condition, one was a little chipped, so I took the chipped one with me. This is just some of the stuff that we collected over the years. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Keep looking out for what we do. GhostHeadSoup.com. Thanks again.